Hello everyone. In this video I'm going to teach you on how you can communicate between blueprint classes in Unreal Engine 4. This is something that a lot of beginners struggle with because there's no single answer to this question as to how you can communicate between classes. It depends on what you want to do and which class wants to access which class and where. So we're gonna go through all of these scenarios one by one so that you can have a good idea on how communication works in Unreal Engine 4. And yeah, let's just begin. Okay, the first scenario is when you have two actors in the same level at the same time and you wanna give access to one class to another class so that they can communicate with each other. So let's just go through that example. I'm just gonna create a blueprint actor. I'm just gonna call this class A. I'm gonna create another actor and call it class B. And let's drag them into the world. And so right now, let's just say that class A wants to access class B. So how do we do that? If they are on the same level, there's actually an easy way for that. So you just have to open the class A, and in the class A you're gonna create a variable. So create a variable, call it class B reference, and the type is gonna be class B, and create an object reference. Compile and save. And what you want to do is go in here and click this instance editable icon so that it can be edited by instances in the world. And now if you click on the class A, go to the details panel, you're gonna see this class B reference available to you, and you can like choose this from the drop down or with the or with this picking tool. So what you want to do is go here and click on this icon and go click on your second actor that you want to access. Click on it, and now you have a reference to this actor in your class A. So now, right now, class A can access class B through this reference. So let's just go to the event graph, delete all of this. On begin play, drag this here, your reference, and put a delay, let's just say, and after 2 seconds, we are gonna destroy this actor. Destroy actor. Okay. And let's just go to the class B and let's make some arrow. This is because I want to see the actor in the level. Let's just uncheck the hidden in game so that you can see this actor in the level. So let's just play. And the actor was destroyed. So that's one way you can communicate between classes. But the problem with this method is that if you were happen to like delete this actor from the scene, let's just say you just delete it, it's gonna say that this actor is referenced by other actors. So this is kind of a hacky and tricky way of doing things. If you delete this and you might want to drag another one to the world, you're gonna have to do the same thing all over again. So go here, choose this in the drop down, and this will work again. But yeah, but you can, if you want to delete this actor, it's gonna be a bit problematic. As you can see, it says. Okay. Now the next scenario is when an actor is spawned at runtime. So let's just say that class A is already in our level. It's already present here. And Class B is gonna be spawned after like 5 seconds after begin play. So let's go to class A, delete all of this, we don't need this anymore. And after 5 seconds on begin play, we're gonna spawn our class B. And when an actor is spawned at runtime, let's just split this, doesn't matter. When an actor is spawned at runtime, whatever actor is responsible for spawning it has access to that class. So here you can see that the spawn actor node gives you a return value, and this return value is an object reference to class B. So you can store this reference in a variable. So drag this here, set, and connect these up. And after 5 seconds, you want to destroy it. Put 5 seconds and come here and say destroy. So now, actually, let's spawn it at this location. Recombine it. Get actor of class. And now this actor is going to get spawned right here, where the player start is. So let's just play. And we're going to see this actor get spawned. Here we go. It's spawned now, and it's going to get destroyed now. And now it's destroyed. So whatever actor is responsible for spawning it also has access to that class. So if you were to spawn this actor, for example, in your player character will be the one that has access to it. And the same goes for all other classes as well. And yeah, so that's scenario number 2. And now let's go over on scenario number 3, which is communicating between level blueprint and your actors. So let's go to the level blueprint, open level blueprint. Now level blueprint is kinda inaccessible from other classes because you can't create a reference to the level blueprint. If you were to like go to the class A, and let's just delete all of this, we don't need this anymore, and create a variable, call it level reference. Under the type, you can just type what was it called, third person level blueprint reference. There's no such thing. You can't reference level blueprint like that. The only way you can communicate between level blueprint and other actors is through event dispatchers. So let's create an event dispatcher. We're gonna create it here, call it level dispatcher, doesn't matter. And we are gonna call this after like 5 seconds. Connect these up. And the way event dispatcher works is whatever class is binded to this event dispatcher. So for example, if the level blueprint and in our begin play, so let's just call begin play. If you were to bind this level blueprint to this event dispatcher, you can access the level blueprint from class A. So Let's just go bind level untick context sensitive, bind level dispatcher, and you can see that we have this here, bind event to level dispatcher, and we're gonna need a reference to our class A, and we're gonna get to that in a moment. So come here and say create, check this context sensitive, create event. No, not sorry. We're gonna create custom event, call it reference, and we're gonna bind these together. So whenever this event dispatcher from here is gonna get called with this node, this is a special node. As you can see, it has a envelope icon right on the corner. Whenever this thing gets called, this is gonna get called, this binded level. So let's just say delay of 5 seconds too, and we're gonna print string. We're gonna put the duration to 10, and in the string we're gonna say this event was called from level blueprint, and we're gonna get an error because we didn't bind this to the proper reference. And that's easy. If you have your class, your actor in the level, just click on it, and from here drag this and go to your level blueprint, release it, and you're gonna get a reference to that actor. So just connect these up, compile, save this so that you don't get any error. And now if we play, after 5 seconds it's gonna get called, or actually after 10 seconds, because see, this event was called from the level blueprint. And yeah, that's it. So I don't recommend putting your code in the level blueprint because it's very hacky and tricky to access it later on. Try to put your code in core classes like the game mode, the player character, the game instance, and we're gonna go through all of those in a moment. Okay, so let's delete all of this. We don't need this anymore. And now we're gonna go over another scenario, which is communicating between two overlapping actors. This is actually the easiest one. So let's just say that the player character is gonna overlap with this class A, and either class A or the player character wants to communicate with one another. So how do we do that? Let's just go through our example. First go to the class B, delete all of this, and under component hierarchy add a box collision. This is going to be the box that detects overlaps, so make this bigger, and that's all we need to do there. Now let's go to our player character and drag your capsule component, and here on component begin overlap, create an event, and whenever this player overlaps with something, this event is going to get called. So from the other actor, let's go say cast to class A, and what this will do is gonna compare this other actor with the class A, and if this comparison was successful, you're gonna have a successful cast, which means you can access it. So let's just go to the class A, let's create an event, custom event, reference, doesn't matter, and go here and say print string. Type here, this event was called from class A. And now in your player character, drag this from here, actually compile first, drag this from here and say ref, and you can call this function. Compile and save, and actually let's just put an arrow on this actor because we can't see it right now, it's invisible. Display. Oops, I forgot to untick this hidden in game. And now you have this actor. If I overlap with it, it's going to say this event was called from the class A. And you can overlap as many times as you want. You can also store a variable to this class by saying promote the variable as class A is fine, and just connect it here. And later on you can use this variable to access the same class again, which is cool. So the same way goes for the other way around. If class A wanted to access your player character, so let's just go to the class A and click on this box component, go down, click on component begin overlap, and we're going to do the same thing. So go cast to third person character, and from here, actually we didn't create an event, let's just create an event. You can delete all of this, create an event called custom event and call this reference, and from here go type print string and say this event was called from third person character. Compile and save, and now if we overlap with this actor, it's gonna say oops, we didn't call it from here, so just say reference, and now it should be ready. Overlap with this actor and you're going to say this event was called from the third person character. So overlapping with this is another way you can try. Another method is when you're not going to overlap with the actor, you're not going to spawn it, you don't want to use the direct communication which we just talked about in the beginning. Let's just delete this class B reference. You don't want to use that method either, so how can you access other classes, other actors in the level? Okay, let's just go through one. There's a node called get actor of class. It will find the first instance of this class that it finds in the world. So if this was third person character, third person character, and now you have access to third person character. As if you hover over it, it's going to say third person character object reference, and now you can do the same thing. So after a delay of, let's say, 5 seconds, we're gonna call reference and delete this. We don't need this anymore. And now actually this is just gonna work right now. Let's just play, and after 5 seconds, I'm not overlapping with the actor, and we're gonna see this event was called from the third person character. That's also another way, but the problem with that is that if you hover over this function, it's gonna say this is a slow operation, use with caution. Example, do not use every frame. So yeah, that's the problem with that. But it's okay if you just use it once. So you can just use it like this. Go here in the begin play and create a reference to your character, call it character, connect these up, and now you have a reference that's available to you all throughout the game. So that's also another way you can try. Oh, and this function has also a pair function called, let's delete this and say get all actors of class. This one will collect all of the instances of the same class that are present in the level. So if you had like 4 of these characters, this is gonna go through all of them and store them in an array. And now what you can do is go use a forage loop. And what this forage loop does, it's going to iterate through all of the elements in this array. So you can call this function. Oops, actually we didn't specify the class. Third person character. So now connect these up. And now you can call this function on all of these instances. And this function is now going to get called 4 times. So let's just play. As you can see, this event was called from the, oops, that actually went too fast. Let's increase the duration to 5. Let's play. This event was called from the third person character, and this function was called 4 times because we have 4 instances in the world, so all of them will be called. This is also a slow operation. If you hover over this, say this is a slow operation, don't use it too much, but it works, right? And as long as it works, it's fine. So let's just delete now. So let's just delete these extra characters so that we just have one. And now we're gonna go through our last example, which is communicating between the core classes of the game and the actors that are already in the level. And the core classes are some special classes that are available in the Unreal by default. If you go to the world settings, you can see that there is a game mode. Go choose your third person game mode. And this game mode class, let's go open this up. This game mode class gets called when the game starts. So basically this is a class that can't be destroyed, and the cool thing about this is that this can be accessed from anywhere. So let's just say that you have some function here, call this custom game mode function, and we're gonna print string. We're gonna say this event was called from the game mode. Okay, compile and save, and all other classes and actors can now access this function because the game mode is easy to access. All you have to do is go to your class that wants to communicate with it and go on the begin play. You're gonna say get game mode, and you're gonna cast to your third person game mode. So you're gonna cast to it, and now after casting you have access to that game mode. So you can just call game mode function, and this cast is going to be successful because the game mode is going to return it's like a placeholder. It's going to return the class that that you have chosen here, and if these two classes match, like this one with this one matches with your third person game mode matches, you're gonna get a successful cast and you can call function on it. So let's just compile and play. This event was called from the game mode. That was too fast. Let's go increase the duration to 5. Let's go play. This event was called from the game mode. And now this function can be called from literally everywhere. So it can be called from your character, begin play. You can just copy paste the same thing, paste it, and if you were to delete this from your class A, you run this event was called from the game mode. So try to put your code always in a class that's available to you in a much easier way, rather than putting your code in a random actor in the world which is hard to access. Don't just put your code in like for example class A, because class A is kind of hard to access. It's a random actor you just created, and yeah, that's just it. So our last scenario is when you wanna communicate between two levels. So let's just say that you have two levels. I'm just gonna create a level, call this second level, or actually no, I'm just gonna duplicate our current level. So to save current, go find your level. It's in the third person. Let's just duplicate it. We're gonna call this second level, and let's say that we have some actors in that level that we want to access. So let's just go to that second level. We're gonna delete this. We're gonna put our class B, because class B is not spawned in the level first level. Where was it? Oh, here. Let's just drag some class B. And now our first level wants to access this class B in the other level. So how do we do that? The only way you can use to communicate between two persistent level is through a game instance. What a game instance is, it's a class that gets executed when your game starts. Basically, while the game is running, that class is also present, and it's not gonna get destroyed by opening another level, or like you can't like destroy it, you can't do anything with it. It's always there until the game closes, which is gonna destroy the game instance class. So let's just create a game instance class. Go here, blueprint class, all classes, search for game instance. I'm just gonna call this my game. Oops, my game instance. And the thing about game instance is that you need to go to your project settings, go under maps and modes, go under game instance class, and change the game instance class to the game instance class that you just created. And that's just it. If you don't change it, this class is not gonna get called when your game starts. So it's very important to set it here. So close this now. And if you go to your game instance, you're gonna see that we don't have a begin play here. We don't have a undestroyed, for example, because this class, you can't destroy it. You have a function called init. This is going to get called when the game starts. And you have another function called event shutdown. This is going to get called when you close the game. So this is good for saving your game files. Basically, before you shut down your game, you can save your files, save the current stats of your game. So let's just delete this too. And let's create an event dispatcher here. So we're gonna create an event dispatcher called class B dispatcher. Compile and save. And you can access this event dispatcher from everywhere, like all other classes. It doesn't matter if it's a game mode, if it's a character, if it's a random actor you just created, you can access it from everywhere. So now from the class B dispatcher, we're gonna go to the class B. On begin play, we're gonna say get game instance. Oops, not this one. Get game instance. This one. And what this will do, it will give you a generic object reference to whatever game instance you have chosen. So you can now cast to your game instance. As you can see, it says cast to my game instance. Connect this up, and now you have access to your game instance. So from here, you can bind to this class to the event dispatcher that we just created. So go from here and say bind event to class B dispatcher. Oops. Let's create this. And here we're gonna create a custom event. Say destroy actor. Connect these up. And from here we're gonna say destroy actor, and the target is gonna be self. So now whenever this event dispatcher gets called from the game instance, this is gonna get called, and this is gonna get called, and this is gonna get called, which is gonna destroy the class B. So let's just go to our character, delete this, and now we wanna go to the other level, because remember, the other level is not present here. We need to open that level at some point. Let's just go to our third person character, delete this, and I'm just gonna set up some input. I'm gonna say keyboard event 1 for opening level, open level by object reference. I'm just gonna choose second level. I'm gonna duplicate this input, and I'm gonna choose I'm just gonna choose 2. So this is gonna get called when I press 2, and when I press 2, I wanna call the event dispatcher. So get game instance, and we're gonna do the same cast to my game instance, and from here we're gonna call class B dispatcher, the event dispatcher that we just created. So, and now we can test this out. If I press 2 right now, nothing happens. If I press 1, I'm gonna transition to other level, and here is our class B, which is already in the level, and if I press 2, it's gonna get destroyed. And voila, that's how you can communicate between 2 levels. We can test this out again. I'm in this first level. I'm gonna press 1, which is gonna transition to our second level, and if I press 2, this actor is gonna get destroyed. I just pressed 2 and it was destroyed. Okay, that's it all in this video. I hope you learned something new. Hopefully you can use this knowledge to communicate between your classes. If you have any other questions, just leave a comment down below and I will try to answer it. And yeah, that's just it.